Hi, Andrew Dubler here with Home to Stay. As more people are choosing to stay at home and age in place in this world that we're living in, one of the main topics I want to talk about today is falls. 1 in 4 Americans age 65 or older will have a fall this year. Every 11 seconds, a senior falls, and every 19 minutes, a senior is killed in those falls. Falls are the major reason for deaths and hospitalizations in the senior population. And with the virus going on, people choosing to stay at home so they can continue to see their loved ones, being aware of this is more important than ever. I had a client not that long ago who was relatively young. He retired after a successful career in the federal government, was attending a barbecue, had a fall, and was a quadriplegic. And that type of thing, that scenario happens every day. And today we're going to be talking to Tim Ryder of That Grab Bar Guy, who works with Home to Stay and making clients' homes safer so they can age in place. Tim, welcome.
Good afternoon, Andrew. It's great to be here, and hopefully we can enlighten some of your clients about how to be safe in their own home.
Great. How did you get started in this business, Tim?
Well, literally, I fell into it, and I don't mean figuratively. I fell 4 rungs from a ladder while at home, severely injuring my right foot, requiring surgery. I couldn't walk or bear weight for 3 months. Took 3 more months to learn how to walk, and I wasn't walking right for 2 years. And that was over 11 years ago at this point, 2008. And I understand what it means to be disabled permanently as well as temporarily. My injuries were significant. When I came home from the emergency room, I was a contractor at the time, but working at home. And I called my friends who were contractors to see if they could help me put grab bars in. See, I had done it off and on as an accommodation for customers before then. And I couldn't do it myself. So I called my friends who were contractors to see if they could help. They said, I don't know how. How about in 6 weeks? Like I could wait for a shower for 6 weeks. Maybe some other time. So I sent my wife out to get some grab bars. And at the time, my 8-year-old was my helper. And we put grab bars in so I could take a shower. That's how bad the need was, or the want was, to take a shower that day. On a scale of 1 to 10, I tell everybody it was 100. And I was able to take a shower. But my path was just beginning because I had been discharged only a few hours before installing grab bars at my own home. Because I didn't need them, of course. Before then, I didn't have white hair.
Right. It's interesting. I refer you to some of our client base, and you do a great job when you go out there. And I was out, recently at a client's house, and he was a bigger gentleman, and he had, I think it was a reinforced towel bar. Could have been a grab bar, but they treated it like a grab bar. And the gentleman went to fall, and he went to hold on to that, and it just pulled right out of the wall. And
oh gosh.
That wasn't the mitigating factor of his fall, but it certainly didn't help him, and it didn't stop his fall. And, that type of thing. And I did, just a couple of weeks ago, I had another client that had a very similar situation, where they had a grab bar, but it wasn't reinforced. So do you see that a lot in the homes?
We do. We see a lot of those we hear a lot of those same stories. Basically what I tell everybody, I fall back to a little, a little bit of funniness with it to make light of it, which of course it's not. I say, you can hold on to the towel bar or the soap dish or what have you all day long, no problem. But you're going to have to go on a diet and get down to the weight of a damp towel, not a sopping wet one either, because that's too heavy. Realizing, of course, that it's an impossibility because it's going to be a weight that, you were born heavier than that. But that's all that a towel bar is meant to support. And then you get the pushback that says, well, I'm only really just touching it for balance. Well, that doesn't work at all.
Right. And you know, as we started this, I talked about some of the statistics and how big of a deal falls are in our country. And you must really, you know, you see that in my line of work of home care. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I know that it's one of the number one reasons why seniors go to the emergency rooms. You know, I know in the home, it's one of the biggest issues that we see. Tell me what you're seeing out there.
We see a lot of that. We see a lot of people that are coming out of rehab or coming out of the hospital, certainly now, and being very fearful about going back in for an awful lot of reasons. Just the big one being COVID right now. But previous to that, a lot of folks never woke up one day and said, gee, I'd love to live in a rehab forever. They wanted to stay home, but they didn't know how to accomplish that. Or for that matter, they weren't necessarily, they would deny that they needed help. And oftentimes it was the family that had to rally around them to push them in the right direction. I'm a firm believer of being able to age in place, stay in place. I was a caregiver for my mom for the last 10 years of her life remotely, about 30 some miles away. She was able to stay in her home for up until her last days. My mother-in-law also passed on. She was 90 miles away. I was third in line behind my wife and sister-in-law. She stayed home until her last days. Both of them got on board with doing modifications, small ones, in order to enable them to stay there more comfortably, more safely, do their own thing at home. And I think that that's a goal for almost everyone. And there's a lot of ways to do that. They can use a home care company as a help. They can use grab bars, but they have to be willing to accept the help and seek out the help.
Right.
That's
That's a great point.
You and your staff bring an awful lot to the table when dealing with a patient who wishes to stay at home or is recouping from some event, whether it's a fall, a surgery, or something else. And it's a companionship, it's a caring, it's something that's that is there, a constant for them many hours a week.
Oh, thank you for that. And Tim, you being in so many homes throughout New Jersey and being so laser focused on grab bars and falls, is there any tips or things that you've learned, lessons learned that we can share with our listeners that they would find helpful, like a gift we can give them to prevent a fall?
Well, most definitely. There are quite a few things that can be done in the home for almost little or no money to make the home more accommodative for anyone at any age. You know, one of the biggest ones that people know about are throw rugs. We love them. We love doormats, throw rugs, whether they're in the bathroom or somewhere else. Runners in the, you know, to run us from the front door to the kitchen or something like that. Get rid of every last one of them. They are a tripping hazard, bar none. Some of the other things we see on a regular basis is poor lighting. On an overcast day, we draw the blinds because, well, it was sunny yesterday, and now it's overcast today, so we don't think to turn the lights on. The pennies that it costs us to turn the lights on to enable us to see more carefully throughout the home is really nothing, free. I realize that light bulbs and electric cost money, but gosh, what's the flip side? Spend some time in a hospital because of a fall, or a rehab because of a fall, because I didn't want to turn the lights on? Man, those are just two of the very simplest ones. Some of the other things that you can do is open up your pathways. Any pathway that you're passing through should be at minimum 24 inches. The home is full of narrow pathways, furniture, clutter on the floor, all sorts of things. There's a reason why falls happen in the home and not in the middle of a great big parking lot, assuming the parking lot is smooth and not slippery. It's because we can take full strides, long ones, see where we're going, and not have to step around an obstruction. The 24 inches is at bare minimum, and preferably you should see pathways larger than that anytime you're moving about. And that includes people who are not on walkers or not with a wheelchair or not on a cane. These pathways, oftentimes we see them in the homes. We're pushing furniture out of the way just because we can't even move with our tools when walking in, and all we're carrying is the equivalent of a tool bag and a trash can. Not a lot of equipment, and we can't pass through them. I don't know how someone with a walker sometimes can navigate through these areas, and we're constantly telling people, reminding them to open them up, turn the lights on too.
It's great advice. One more question for you, Tim. When I think of grab bars and I think of that type of safety, I immediately think of the bathroom, near
Right.
the shower, in the shower, near the commode. Aside from the bathroom, where would be the next most popular place for grab bars in a home?
Well, grab bars, I think of grab bars a little differently. The proper definition is, where do I need a grab bar? Okay, or the proper question is, where do I need a grab bar? A grab bar is useful wherever I need to steady myself while performing some task or changing a level. Sometimes a grab bar is more helpful than a handrail is when stepping up or stepping down. So we see issues coming through doorways, step up from the front porch or the doormat, outside into the house. Well, the handrail got us up the 2 or 3 steps. Now we're standing on the front porch. How do we get in? Well, we sometimes reach out and grab a hold of the door frame, or reach out and grab a hold of the edge of the door, so that when the door swings, when we're pulling on it, it pinches our hand and gets our attention. That's always fun. But grabbing a hold of the door frame is not adequate either, because all we're catching are the pads of our fingers. So we put a very narrow grab bar between the screen door and the house door, allowing both to operate properly. And that helps us a lot in getting up into the house. We do those quite often. Some of the strangest places that we've, if you will, we've put grab bars. I mean, in the old days, whenever you wanted to know something, your parents probably told you, look it up in the dictionary. You'll see what it looks like. And the picture would be, illustrative as to where you might find it. So you were right in finding them in the bathroom. However, I've put them next to the thermostat. We had a gentleman who was on a walker. We couldn't stop him, or the family couldn't stop him from fiddling with the thermostat all day long. He would step off of the walker, walk over to the thermostat, and fiddle with it. Well, we put a grab bar there. He had fallen a few times fiddling with the thermostat. We put a grab bar next to the thermostat. Solved the problem. We weren't going to teach him a new trick, but he knew enough to hold on to the grab bar when he was fiddling with the thermostat. We had another issue with a lady folding laundry on top of a washer and dryer. Very common. Lived alone. She fell a number of times because she was trying to hold on to the front of the washing machine. She had dizzy spells, low blood pressure, and they couldn't get that under control. So we put a grab bar next to the washing machine. Hold on to it when she's feeling dizzy folding laundry. With same person, we put one next to the stove and one next to the kitchen sink, because she was drawing a kitchen chair up while cooking at the stove. Not that she was going to hold on to the stove, but she was holding onto the kitchen chair. Well, what happens when you push on the back of a chair? It falls down. Solve the problem, So anywhere you think of that you need a little bit of assistance, something strong to hold on to, that you won't fall while performing some task.
I started this segment by saying I'm pleased and honored to have Tim here, and I mean that. And I'll say that every time we've sent Tim into one of our clients' homes, he's been responsive, he's been well received, and I've had nothing but positive feedback. So thank you, and please keep Home to Stay in mind for your in-home care.